Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Laping, and I am the Chief Innovation Officer for Bagel Brands. You may not know the Bagel Brands name, so I should break it down. It's Einstein Brothers, it's Noah's, it's Bruegger's Bagels, and then Manhattan Bagel.
Fantastic. So Chris, how would you describe kind of the impact of how COVID has hit Bagel Brands and your peers?
It's been a COVID's been tough. And I think not just for us as a company and brand, but obviously for the entire planet. Most of us have never run a playbook like this. I think we have all dealt with various challenges in the business. Certainly there's been, multiple recessions over the years, but nothing like we're seeing now. And so I think right now we're being challenged to be as innovative as possible to really accelerate great ideas as quick as we can, and to be just really highly responsive to what our customers really need from us right now. That for us in particular, it boils down to people are at home, and in a lot of cases are scared and feel isolated. And the one small bit of pleasure we can bring into their life is a fresh baked bagel. And so it's just like trying to connect to that and trying to be as helpful as we can during a really challenging and scary time.
What have some of the challenges been in reaching customers and in having those channels set up? And has any new channels arrived, or have you kind of invested in any new opportunities because of this?
Yeah, reaching the customer is hard because everybody is trying to hit customers via email. Everybody is making sure that their customers understand where they stand related to COVID and the steps that they're taking to protect their team members and protect their customers. And so in some ways there's a sea of noise. So I think that for us, we just really realized that storytelling is a really important part of this. And that again, being responsive to what our customers are saying and what they need from us is the best way to reach them. Now, we're also like accelerating a full year's worth of digital agenda. So we're focused on mobile ordering, and for our guests to be able to order their favorite egg sandwich in the mobile app and be able to go in the store and pick it up. And by the tail end of the year, we were going to offer delivery so that we could bring food to you. And it turns out that all of that got done in just a few weeks instead of a full year, and is already accounting for as much as 25% of our total sales. So it's requiring a lot of responsiveness and requiring us to really flex these innovation muscles around agility and responsiveness in a way that we never have.
Absolutely. That's a perfect segue. So we've been working together, CCG and Bagel Brands, for the last few months, and really tried to accelerate the process of giving you time to value and giving you insights rapidly around your customer base, around their behaviors and their purchasing behaviors and other components of the business to truly understand performance, but not just understand it, but empower the teams to be able to go after it and look at it. How is that type of capability, having the insights, how has that been a part of this journey over the last few weeks?
Well, I think it's been a huge part. And, when I talk about the acceleration of consumer change around behavior, I would say there's an acceleration that's happened internally, which is behavioral change within our organization and how we view data and insights and how we can use them to lead us on strategy. And I think what we're really learning with the work that we have done with CCG and with our new tool sets is that data is super nuanced, and that you need a powerful way to pick out those nuances. And if I give you a couple of examples about that, in one specific example, the behaviors of our guests and how they use our digital channels during the week is much different than they are in the weekend. And if I just summarize, my going in hypothesis would be that people have more time on the weekend, so they're actually fine not being time pressured. And so they might not use digital as much as they would during the week when they've got a busy work schedule that they're trying to balance. And the data doesn't say that at all. And just the way people behave on a Tuesday versus a Wednesday, and then you compare and contrast that to a Saturday and Sunday, this is the kind of insights that tapping into then can lead to us learning a lot more quickly, being a lot more responsive to what the customer is telling us, and to make sure that we're targeting things to the customer that's more relevant to them. The other thing is there's all of these different channels that guests are communicating to us through. We have customer satisfaction surveys that are at the bottom of our receipts. So some guests are giving us feedback that way. Some guests are giving us feedback through guest relations emails that they send to us. Some people are going out to Facebook and Twitter and talking about us. And it's interesting when you start to pull in all of those insights. Again, the nuances in it. The nuances in terms of, it's not that consumers are scared to go into a restaurant and take food to go. That what they're really saying is it's the food handling, it's the preparation of food that scares them. And that's different than people are just scared to walk in and order food and walk out. And so that nuance, and then how we would respond to that. One is a very broad assumption. People don't want to get food from a restaurant. If you accept that in our industry, then you're closing your doors and calling it good. But instead, if the conclusion is, well, they're scared of the prep and the handling. They're scared about simple procedures that we may take for granted. Those kinds of things then help us, I think, again, respond to everything that's going on. And certainly our organization just has to be wiser with how do we take these insights and use those to inform strategy. And that change management effort does take time, but I think we've seen it greatly accelerated now.
I'm curious. I know that there's been some exciting focal points with specific products or specific partnerships that Bagel Brands has created over the last few weeks. It seems like months with the amount of work that's been done, but just in the past few weeks, do you have an example of ideally one that was leveraging the customer intelligence platform where you guys were going after something new, going after a partnership, and you were able to quickly kind of get after that performance or help inform those decisions by a dashboard or by an analytic or report that was kind of developed?
I think that we had isolated islands of insights that took an extraordinary amount of effort to triangulate. And anytime there was something we wanted to learn from one of those isolated islands of information, it most of the time took our partners' energy to help us. And I'll say during the crisis, we have learned there are some partners that are really great at doing that, and there were others that were just incapable of doing that. Either because that's not the kind of service model they had, or they were just being inundated with requests by other customers that were like us, wanting to understand this data. And what I think in general, we are getting out of the CI platform that I'm excited about is we've become more self-subsistent. That as long as I can get that information into the data lake, as long as I can get it into CI, that the tools enable me to answer those questions. And if I need to click down 2 or 3 levels, that I don't have to get in the queue with a partner waiting for someone on the other end to explain it to me. The other thing that's hard is a lot of times when a data is sitting in isolated islands of information, the people that are working on that information are too far removed from the business to really understand if some insight is really jumping out, and that, oh, this is an anomaly and we should pay attention to it because it's either really good for the business or it's going to be really bad. And so I think what we're going for is self-subsistence here, that we want to have a data science capability, that we want to be able to serve that up. We want to be able to use those insights to drive strategic implications. And then based on those strategic implications, that we can provide so much clarity to our team that they can get into production and create something that a customer will get really excited about quickly. And so as an example for us, meal kits have been a huge success. Meal kits weren't even in our vocabulary before the COVID crisis. But through insights, we were able to glean that this was important to our guests, that food preparation and handling and the ability to be able to take something home and easily make it themselves. Like as an example, we have a take and bake pizza kit where kids can stand around and make little pizzas on bagels, and their parents can drop those into the oven, and out come these awesome pizzas, and the kids feel like they were able to participate in it by the way it occupied their time. And the family can feel safe because they did the final steps of preparation and handling. Those are the kinds of insights I think that we are more self-subsistently able to produce ourselves. And I don't even know if self-subsistently is a word, but I'll go with it.
We'll trademark it now. Yeah, I think that's so critical, and I agree. For some of those agility, optimization, the buzzwords that we like to talk about with these platforms, if it's not enabling self-service, if they're really not able and empowered to go after and find the real insights, then the impact is much less, and the effort, and then the adoption starts to fade, et cetera. For anyone who's struggling right now, whether it be in restaurants or in QSR, or whether they're in hospitality or retail or any other area that's been hit hard, do you have any parting advice for those folks?
No, I don't. When I say no, I mean I don't feel like I've got some nugget of wisdom they can hang their hat on. All I can do is just express to people that I'm incredibly optimistic. That again, that in crisis, good things and bad things happen, but I'm optimistic that the good things will trump the bad things. The feeling is, yes, it's isolating and it's scary, but I choose to have a lot of optimism about this and know that when we come out on the other side, we will come out stronger.
Wow. Incredible advice, incredible insights today, and incredible results. So, Chris, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you jumping on in these moments where time is so valuable. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks a lot, Chris.